Assalamu alaikum. This is chapter 4, Cascading Style Sheets, which we will cover it in two chapters. This is chapter 4, and the next one is the advanced features of CSS3, which is chapter 5. In chapter 4, which is CSS part 1, we will consider the following topics. Can explain what is cascading style sheet and the difference between inline style, embedded style, and external style. How we use classes versus IDs. What is usage and what is the differences between them. Then we're going to cover the conflicting styles and how we can have the browsers, kind of accept these conflicting styles or interact with these conflicting styles. And also we will show you how to link external style sheet with HTML5 document. Then we're going to consider positioning elements, whether absolute or relative positioning, before we talk about backgrounds, images, and background colors. At the end of this class, we will consider the element dimensions, how to change the dimension of some elements in HTML using CSS code. Box model and text flow also will be considered in this lecture, in which we'll show you how you can actually control a box that include text and how the text is flowing within the box. Then at the end we will show you how you can create a drop-down menus. So let us start with the first concept, which is cascading style sheet, which is cascading style sheet version 3. For short naming, we call it CSS3. Cascading style sheet are called CSS. It is a language that is written for formatting and styling. If HTML, which is hypertext markup language, is used to create websites, to create the content and structure of websites, then cascading style sheets is used to format those web pages and style them. So for example, HTML itself is used to create the structure or the content of the page. Has nothing to do with changing the colors or the style of the font or the backgrounds or the size of images or the width of the screen and so forth. We use cascading style sheet to do this. There are three different ways to do this, which is inline, that means within the line itself, or embedded, that means embedded within the head section of HTML document, or external, which is a completely different text file created with extension.css that is linked to the HTML document in order to apply the style that is written in this file. The difference between inline style, embedded style, and external style is that inline style is a style that is created in a line for individual elements. So for example, if you have 5 paragraphs and you would like to make their background color yellow, you go to every paragraph and create a style for that paragraph, that is style equal color background color is yellow, and you repeat this for the other 4 paragraphs. But for embedded style, which you put it in the head section of your HTML document, you do this one time in the head section between style in the style element, and then this will be applied to all paragraphs, so you don't have to repeat it many times. So simply embedded style is applied for all pages, for all the page, while in inline style for individual lines. External style is just like embedded style, except that external style is created as a separate file with extension.css, and then it is linked to the HTML document through a link script or a line that links the file, the external file, to HTML document, including the file name and the extension. So let us start by using an example for inline style. So here, for example, I have created some files to help me explain this. Let me run this file. This is a file in HTML. It has these 3 paragraphs, and it has this h1 head 1 element. Let me see the code for this file, and the code for this file is look like this. This is my first line, and let me also put this in the same screen. Alright, this is my file, and this is my code. So this is h1 element. As you could see, this word symbol is being italic because here I put em on it, and this also font size is italic because I put em on it. Em is a replacement of I element, which has been retired or depreciated. So these are my 3 paragraphs. This paragraph, 3 paragraphs, this paragraph, and the first paragraph here. So if you'd like to change a paragraph to put, for example, the color blue, so you use style equal color blue, like that. So the color of this paragraph will be changed to blue. If you like the other paragraph also its color to be blue, then you repeat this one for this paragraph. You save your file, refresh, and then the second paragraph also will be blue. If you want the third paragraph also to be blue, then you repeat that also for that paragraph, and then refresh. So all paragraphs now are changed to blue. But how many times you repeated that? 3 times. Okay. Alright, so this is just an example of an inline style. An inline style, of course, you can change a lot of things inside the style. So here, before you close your quotation, you can do something else. For example, if you would like to use font dash family Arial, then this paragraph will be changed to Arial. So if you'd like to repeat that for this other paragraph, then you copy the code here and put it for these 2 paragraphs. So this is an example. You can keep on changing the font size, the background color. There is a lot of things that you can do here, but this is simply to show you how inline style works per line. If it is a paragraph or it is another element like h1, even this one, if I would like to change something here, I can change it. Even this one, it's an element, the word symbol. If I would like to put here style equal, and then color orange, then that means I would like to only change this word This word I would like to change it, the word symbol I would like to change it to make it orange. So this word here will change to orange. So a style can be changed for any element, whether a paragraph or a head or EM or division or section or any other element. So this is an inline style per line. You put it in a line like that, a line, and that it affects only that line. It doesn't affect other lines. Okay, so let me go to another example showing the it's called embedded style. So to show this one, let me show this one here. You see this file, Web Engineering and Development. This is a description of the course, and something here I added like the word client. If you see, this Web Engineering and Development and clients are in H1. These are two other paragraphs that I created. So my code looks like this. Alright, so if I would like to change something for this paragraph, then I would change it here inside paragraph. It's going to be considered as inline style. Alright, so let me copy a code and put it in the head section, because an embedded style is going to be included in the head section. So this is the code that I was preparing to put it here in the head section of my HTML document. So here, H style, you start with style space type equal text slash CSS. It is important to put this one because sometimes the embedded code is not a CSS, is not cascading style sheet code. It is XML code, for example, or JavaScript code. So it is better to put this one to tell you the validator that what you are going to put between this style and closing style is actually a CSS code. So let me refresh. Let me first cut this one, remove them, and just leave these three elements, explain them, and then later I'm going to explain the others. Here, look at what changed, what happened to my file. So what happened to this text? This one, the color is changed to blue. Also this one is changed to blue. So H1 color changed to blue, and also the font family is changed to cursive. This paragraph font family also changed to cursive, and there is two text in this paragraph and this paragraph. Their color becomes orange. How this happened? If you look here, I said I put an element outside the braces. This is an element, this is an element, this is an element. So this is an EM element, H1 element, and paragraph element. So for every E element, the font weight make it bold. So the style I would like to include for this EM. How many EMs I have? I have here, this is EM, which is web application, and also EM for this HTML5, JavaScript, and CSS. So these not this one, sorry, web applications, and my other EM is here, Fortune 1000 companies. So these two, web application and Fortune 1000 companies, which is this, it will become bold, as I said here, the font weight bold, and the color is orange. So the style has been applied there for two places. So simply, when you put something in the embedded style, whenever it sees that element in your HTML document in the whole page, it will apply that style to it, as it happened in H1. How many H1 I have here? I have two H1s. This one here, Web Engineering and Development, and this one, Client. So the color becomes blue, as I said here, color blue, and also the font family is cursive. So I can remove this font families, there is no need for them, because cursive is found in my computer operating system, so I can just keep it as cursor. Color is below. Alright, so this is what happened to this color below, and font family is cursive. For a paragraph, and I have two paragraphs, this paragraph and this paragraph, I said I need the font size to be 12 point, so the font size here is 12 point for these two paragraphs, and also the font family is cursive, and that's why it becomes here cursive. So this is an example of what embedded style, which is include between style and slash style, and you have to use an attribute for style, which is type equal between quotation text slash CSS. Let me explain something here, which is the difference between class and ID. So I can actually span a specific area in my code. Span means make a place or determine a place in your code. So or choose a place in your code. So I'm gonna choose this line here, this part. So span it means create a span for it like this. Span slash span, like that. Okay, and also here you can create, where is my other span? Here I can create a span like that. Span. Two places, I have two spans. Why am I doing this? Because I would like to select this text and also this text to change a style for them. In order to change the style of these two places without affecting the others and keep them in the same line, but just change their style. Maybe I would like to change their color, or I would like to change their font family, or I would like to change their background color or the font size or anything. I would like simply to format these places or this text. So in order to do this, you have to span it. Span it means select it by using a span element, span slash span. Why do you create your code or your style? In this case, if you are using the embedded style, you have to create a class. So create a class like this. Class, call it any name. Like here I call it CL. Okay. And or call it just call it CL, for example, or call it C. I have a class here also created called C, so I would like to call it different name here. So I have like 3 classes created. 2 are created in the span, and 1 is created in H1 element. That gives you an idea that a class can be created in a span or can be created in any element. So here, for example, I can create a class equal, and then class name. We can create a class here, class equal, and then put a name for a class. So that means you would like to use this class to change this area, and so on. So if you are creating a class and give it a name, then you can change the format of this area selected by the span using the class. How? Let me copy these 3 lines of codes in which I was using a class by preceding it with a dot class name. Dot C means this this class. This I mean this area here. This word. I have T. Let me call this one S. Alright, so I have 3 classes names. One is called S, one is called T, and the other one is called C. For every class to refer it back to to refer to this class in your style, you have to use a class name preceded with a dot, yani dot and then the class name. Then here you have to create the code for the CSS. So when you see .c color dark green, background color light blue, what do you mean? You mean that area denoted by the class C, its color should be dark green and the background color should be light blue. Let me cut this one and see what am I talking about. I'm talking about this client word. The client word, because it has a class C, its color will be dark green and background color will be what? Will be light blue. Let me see what happens after I save my file. Here it is. So the color is dark green and background color is this light blue. If I would like to use second one, S, where is S? Here is S. This is the class S. So which area is going to be affecting? This one, methodologies, techniques and tools. What is going to happen to it? Because I used .s, background color yellow, color red, font size 20, so this style will be affecting this area, surrounded by the span, in which I have a class called S. So if I save and do this, so look, and methodologies, techniques and tools, it font size become 20, which is too much. Let me make it 16 point or 14, and then refresh. So here I am applying this style to this part for this class. And the last one is T. T is affecting which area? T is created for this part. So what I want, because I created a class called equal T, I can refer back to my class by .t color blue. Just I would like this one to be color blue, and maybe background color I would like to make it yellow. So let me use background color yellow and see what happens to it. So here it is, color is blue, background color is what? Is yellow. So this is how my file has been affected by this embedded style. Here I was just showing you how you can use a class. There is another way to use, which is an ID. Instead of a class, you can use an ID. ID, replace this one with an ID, and replace this one with an ID. So when you replace it with an ID, you see the style is gone, because if you use an ID, you have to use not a dot, you have to use hash, the pound sign symbol, and then refresh. Here it is back. Okay, why this one changed to this red and yellow? Because here I have also use S here in this line. I put ID equal S, so you can use an ID in different places. It's going to affect both places. ID S is used here and ID S is used here. Both of them, the background color will be yellow, color will be red, font size will be 14. That's why this one is being changed. So if you like to keep it as the first one here, H1, is font family cursive color blue, then you can remove this one. If I remove this one, then you will see that the web engineering and development will be blue and cursive, and H1 will become H1 in its place. As you could see there, web engineering and development becomes cursive and blue, because here I removed this one. That means you can use the ID or class in more than one time, in 2 different or 3 or more different places, and in every place that is going to be affected by such format if it is found. So simply this is the difference between using ID and a class. Let me see what we have. Conflicting styles. In conflicting styles, we will show you an example here. Let me see. My file looks like this. Okay, you like to see the code? You know, the code will look like this. Now this is an unordered list. It has milk, as you could see, and then bread, and then it has carrots, which is this one, carrots, and then yogurt, and then pizza, and then there is a link down there, a link for this grocery store. All right, so what is the code look like? All right, let me just show you something here. Why carrot is red? Because here I change only. Why carrots is red? Because here I change only this part in the list of this item and said color equal red. So now if I didn't say that, then it will become normal, like others. So now I would like to put it back. So this is inline style only for this. So I would like just that word to make it red. Okay, good. Now let me show you some code here and try to explain what I mean by conflicting style. I would like you to first look at my embedded code. What did I say for the body? The body should be Arial, and here A this is the anchor tag for the link. A colon hover means if I hover over a link, if I put my cursor like this on the link, that means hover. Alright, so if I put my cursor over the link, what happens? Let me change this one to none. None, this means text decoration, there is no underline. Because by default there is underline, so you don't have to keep you don't have to make it underline like that. You just keep it without any text decoration. But if you like to remove the underline, then you have to put text decoration colon none. So if you hover over the link, the underline is gonna go away. And maybe color will be different. You know, you like to make the color, for example, yellow, for example, like that. So you can actually hover over the link, change the color, and remove the underline. Okay, if you look at this one, LIEM, and LIEM means when you find EM inside LI, yani nested element. Nested how? The EM inside LI. I have an example. I have EM nested within LI. This is an example, nested element. So that means with mushrooms, this word with mushrooms, which has an EM, to make it italic like this. This is what I mean. What do I do for it? I would like to make the font bold. So this one with mushroom will be bold. Okay, because it is an EM inside LI. Here when you find H1 comma EM, that means there is a comma between the two elements. you are talking about this one or this one. يعني if you find h1 in my code, in my HTML file or EM, make the text decoration underline. That means you underline the text. Alright, underline the text, and or whatever whatever format or style that you'd like to add. Here UL by itself means make a margin for this unordered list to make it 20 pixels from the left. يعني leave 20 pixels here from the left. UL, what is UL? UL means UL inside UL. Do I have an example of UL inside an UL? Yes. This is a UL, right? See, between line 17 and line 29 is a UL, isn't it? But I have another UL inside it, this one. But this is UL for the bread. So this is a UL inside UL. So what I mean this part. What happens? I need the font size to be 0.8 EM. I need the color to be, for example, dark green. So I would like to change some style here for this unordered list inside unordered list. I look for this LI. LI means every list, but here there is a conflicting style. Why? If I, for example, said color let's say the color purple. Okay, because here I said forget about the font weight, just look at the color purple. So that means every LI list and EM change the color to purple. But here I said if you find LI, change the color to blue. So this is an example of a conflicting style. Why? Because here you are asking for your browser to change the color for every LI and for every EM to make the color purple. But here you change your mind. You said I need LI color to be blue. In this case, the priority will be given to the last one. This one will replace the previous style. Let me refresh and see how this code is reflected here on my file. Okay, here it is reflected like that. Let me show you what happens. Here, shopping list for Monday, the font family is Arial because H1, this H1 shopping list. What happened to H1? H1, it is going to be underlined, right? Because I said text decoration underlined. So every H1 and EM is underlined. Okay, this is EM. That's why it is underlined with mushrooms. It is EM here. That's why it is underlined. Okay, shopping list for Monday is underlined because it is H1, and here I said H1 also underlined. And also go to the this is underlined here. Go to the, it is underlined. Grocery store is underlined not because it is in a grocery store. This one it is underlined not because it is in the EM, but because it is a link, and the link usually is underlined. Yes, but here when I put the cursor over it, the color changed to yellow and the underline is gone, if you can notice, because here I said when I hover over the link, remove the underline, so text decoration is none, and color make it yellow. So that's why it makes the color yellow when I hover over. Hover over means put the cursor on top of the link. That's why here this style is working on this A:hover. why this is purple? This is purple because I said every li, the color, every li and em, the color should be purple and should be bold. That's why with mushrooms is now bold and then purple color. Why? Because with mushrooms here it is an em. But you can notice that li, it is not, color is not purple. It should be purple, right? Because here I said because here I said actually em inside li, em inside li. This is the only one em inside li. That's why it is purple. But here I replaced the li color with what? With blue. And this is the only time, by the way, that I'm trying to mention that I need the color blue for li. If I put li here, for example, li here, different color, for example, say green. Okay, green. It is not going to be green. It's going to be blue. Why? Because this li blue will replace the previous one. Right? Now, if I put here blue and then here green, which one color is going to be reflected? Is going to be green. Look. Why green? Because this color here for li replaces the previous one. So if there is a conflicting style, then the last one will be used. Also, if here for this li I use style and then I said color, for example, orange. Okay, for this li milk, it is going to be orange. Look. Why orange? Because if you have conflicting styles, the priority will be given to the inline style. Yani here this one green will replace the blue. But if you have a line style that is actually for the same element, then the inline style will replace the inline style. So the orange will replace the green, and the green here will replace blue because it comes at the end of this code. So this is what is meant by conflicting style. Conflicting style is the style confused style because it is repeated with the same color, with the same style. Then the inner style will replace, priority will be given to the inner style, and also in the embedded style, the most recent one is going to be the style that is used. Also, I would like to actually reiterate on something: the difference between two elements with a space and two elements with a comma. The two elements with a space, like this one and this one, that means the right one inside the left one. So here, unordered list inside unordered list will be affected by this style. Here, em inside li will be affected by this style. But you have a comma, that means this one or this one. So you can have many things. So for example, you have here h1, h2, h3, and paragraph. So that means every h1 or h2 or h3 or paragraph or em is going to be affected by this style. So this is or. And this is one inside this one. So I hope this is clear. I'm gonna move on to talk about my next one, which is this external style. External style is simply, you see, I'm going to use the same example that I'm using it here. This one. Okay. and I'm going to remove this completely from here. Remove it, save it, and then refresh my code. Alright, so this is my my file. So now my code look like this. There is no style on it except an inline style for the carrots and inline style for the milk, which is here, as you could see. What is an external style? External style is to create a completely different file. So you go there to the notepad, for example, and create a file with this style, but you have to remove the first line and the last line. Alright, like this. So you create a file with a style, any style. I'm using that as an example. So I have this embedded style that I copied, and then here let me just leave it as before, like this. Okay, alright. Alright, like this. Then, so it is just a normal text file. The code that you have in embedded, you put it in the text file, and then you save it as any name. Save as, for example, st.css. You have to save it with .css and change the file type here to all files, so that it is saved with as CSS. Extension is very important. Then save it. Make sure that the file exists here. It exists, and the code, the line icon will be like a gear like that. So, and if you put the cursor on it, it will show that this is a cascading style sheet document. It is very different from the text file. This is how the text file look like. This one, like a sheet, like a paper, but this one is like a paper with a bended corner and a gear inside it. So this is the file. And you come here and you create a link in the head section by using link element, link rel, use rel equal style sheet, and then type equal text slash CSS, same like you put in the style earlier, and then href, hypertext reference, same like you use in your link when you created link, and then here use the file name, which is I called it st.css. So, and then at the end you close it with this forward slash and an angle bracket, closing angle bracket. This is a void element, so it doesn't have a closing link element, but it just close it like that. That's such same like you close the image element. So now this is the line, very important line that you need to understand, that you use style sheet here as relation, type is text slash CSS, and href equal this one. Save it. That means you are linking this file that you created earlier, this file you created earlier as .css, and you are linking it to this document so that I can refresh my page and see what happens. Here it is. So the style is reflected on this page. So this is simply how you create an external style and you link it to your HTML document. The difference between embedded style and external style is that embedded style is used for the whole page, any element found in the page, and external style is not only used for the whole page, but also can be copied in the head section of other pages. So if you'd like to have all subsequent pages to follow the same style, for font, for H1, for anything, for titles, for colors, for images, then all what you need to do is just to copy this line, and just copy and paste it in the head section of every page you create in your website, and that the style that you have here on this file will be applied to all pages. Just you need to copy the link line, that's all, and then the style will be applied to them. So it is more convenient than using embedded style, of course. So this is how to link the external style sheet. Now let me talk about positioning elements. We talk about two positioning elements, in which I'm going to consider two files for this example. So let me first show you this page here. You see I have two pictures and a text. These two pictures, one for a background, this is like a sea picture for a sea and a sky. This picture for a jumping dolphin, and this is a text, dolphin jumping. So absolute positioning is to position the elements adjacent to each others, whether on top of each others or next to each others. And this is the order in which you can put these images. So what I would like to do, I would like to put this jumping dolphin inside inside this, on top of this. So this one is going to be first, and then second I'm going to have this, and then third I'm going to put this text here at the tail of this dolphin. To do this, you have to use what is called positioning elements, and I would like to copy this code from here and use it in my file here, which is I opened it right here, not this one. Okay, yeah, this one. So this code, as you could see, it's this paragraph include the picture for the sea, and this picture for the fish, for the dolphin. I called it fish.jpg, and this is just a text. I'm creating a class for this one, a class for this one, a class for this one. So I have three classes: sea, fish, and text. I would like to use my classes here to change their position, which is going to be absolute for each one. So it's going to be position absolute, position absolute, position absolute for the three elements, for this paragraph, and for this paragraph, and for this paragraph. Because I'm using a class for this, I'm using .c, .fish, and .text to refer to my class names. Top 0 pixels and left 0 pixels. That means I would like to have this dolphin, this sea from top, so there is no space here. Now you see there is a white space on the left and white space here on top, because there is 1 or 2 pixels, something like that, but I would like to have it 0 pixels. So you will see actually nothing on the left, no space on the left, and no space on top, like that. It's just on right from the corner. And regarding the fish, I would like to have it down text 10 pixels from top here, from top 10 pixels, and also 100 pixels from the left. So it's going to be moving here like 100 pixels. It's going to be in this area, like this one, 10 from top, and here 100 pixels from the left. And for the text, which is this dolphin jumping, I would like to put it at the tail of this dolphin, at the tail of the dolphin. I would like to have it 80 pixels from top. So it's going to be like 80 pixels like here in this area, 80 pixels from top, and then like 80 pixels from left. Also it's going to be 80 pixels from left. So it's going to be in this area like that. This is dolphin jumping. Also for the text, I would like to make the font size 12. For the text, this text, I would like to make the font size 12. The font family is Tahoma. As I said, you don't have to worry about the other text types. the font family Tahoma, and then Geneva, and then sans serif, and then you can have more list. As I mentioned in my class, that if the first one is not found in your computer, then browser will look for the second one. If it is not found in your computer, it's going to look for the third one, and then if it is not finding all of these, it's going to look for the default font. But if you would just put the home, is okay if it is found in your computer or whatever. So you can also put cursive. I like the cursive font type, so it's gonna actually use this one. Then the color is red. Which color? The color of the text denoted by the text class, which is dolphin jumping. Let me see what happened to my file. It's gonna be like this. See, jumping. Looks like a dolphin jumping or something like that, and there is a text. So the first one is actually the C, the second one is the dolphin, and the third one is what is the text. I need to talk about the Z index. The Z index can be 1 or any other number, like 1 or 2 or 3. So 1, 2, 3, it will make in this order. The first one is going to be the C, second one is going to be the fish, and the third one is going to be the text. Text is number, let me put here comma, semicolon, I mean. The text is the last one. But if you change the Z index to make it different, for example, the first one is going to be the first one is going to be the text, and this one is going to be the second one, and this one is the third one. So what happens is that the C is going to cover these two, and your file will be just like that, as if there is no anything here, but there is actually, but it's covered by the Z index level or order. And if you put this one is number 1 and the fish is number 3 and this one is number 2, so what happens is that this text is going to be number 2. That means it's going to be before the dolphin. That means the dolphin is going to cover part of this text. It's because this is number 1, the text is number 2, and then the picture of the dolphin is number 3. So the Z index will control the order. That is the use of the Z index. Okay. So, but if you don't provide any Z index, the order is going to be as normal by default from top to bottom. Okay. So this is the absolute positioning. For the relative positioning, we talk about superscript, subscript, or shifted left or shifted right. Relative to what? Relative to the text that is written. So here in this example, for example, in this example, you will see that the text, they are like 4 paragraphs. Each paragraph I span specific areas where you will see ID with different names: super, sub, shifted left, and shifted right. These are names for IDs, where I refer to them back with pound and then the ID name. What you use here for the position, you use position relative for all of them, but you control the top, bottom, left, right for the value of this positioning by using minus number, like -1. EX is a measurement for the space relative to the paragraph sentence. So here in this example, I have for example position for super, which is this part here. I used top -1, but if I use top -2, for example, then you will see that it is shifted up more. And if you use -0.5, for example, it's going to be shifted up a little bit on top, not right over the corner, but it is just a little bit. So that's why if you use -1, it is by default is going to be on the top corner of the text like this. Again, for the subscript also, if you change this number and you increase it, if you make it -3, for example, you will see that the text relative to this sentence is being shifted more down. Shifted left also, the more number you put, is going to be shifted less. So if you put -0.5, it's going to be shifted on top of this. Okay, but if you put like if you increase the number, like 0.5 for example, ex, then it's going to be shifted less than previous. But if you, for example, you put -4 ex, so you will see that the text is actually shifted too much to the left to interact with this on top of this on this sentence relative to this sentence, and so forth. For the last one is about shifted right. The more number you put is going to be shifted more right. So if you put -20 ex, then it's going to be shifted so much to the right, 20 pixels. So here if you put -0.5, then it is going to be shifted to the right, but not too much to the right. So simply you use position relative, and either top or bottom or left or right to move the text either on top or to the bottom or to the left or to the right. So these are 4 directions for the positioning of relative positioning.